DD214 Network podcast is for mature audiences only. Any videos, music, or entertainment not originating from DD214 Network is used and covered under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, also known as fair use. Opinions expressed are our own and do not represent any DoD or U.S. government entities as a whole. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Viewer and listener discretion is advised. You are no longer alone now, because we have you.
Good morning, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, how's it going?
Going. How are you guys?
I'm great, man. I'm great. I completely forgot to tell you that I did have something that I wanted to bring up for the show. So that's kind of related in a way. Are you guys familiar with the heavy metal band Slaughter to Prevail?
I've heard of it. I wouldn't say familiar. I've heard of it.
I wouldn't say familiar myself. I've heard the name.
Yeah. So they are a Russian. Let me make sure I got the name of the band right. They are a Russian heavy metal band, and so they're Americans now. Yeah, Slaughter to Prevail, awesome band, really cool, really fantastic band. I'm a huge fan. So I was watching a little YouTube video of the lead singer who, on the day that the war started, got his visa to come to America. Yeah. And he was explaining that the day that it started, he was in Poland. And he was just like, there's no way. He loves Russia. He loves his home country, as you know, any person who loves their home would. But he said he did not think that in any way, shape, or form that war would have started.
But it did.
And it did. And
so now what?
So now he's in Florida. He's living the best life in Florida. But it's just so interesting to me to hear his perspective and his story of things and stuff like that. And kind of going into what's going on not too far away from there, which we're not going to get into too much detail, but I've talked about the show The Chosen. The actor who plays Simon / Peter, if you guys are up with your religious text, he just got called to fight for the IDF.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He got mobilized?
Yes, he did. Yes,
that happens. That happens.
And, and that's something that it does happen. And I mean, if it happened over here,
service to country, man. Like that's there. It is a thing, and America does not have a patent on it. Like it's freaking. It's worldwide. It's worldwide.
Absolutely. So yeah, I just wanted to bring those things up because I thought that those were two very interesting stories that I checked out this week that really kind of more out in the foreign world, but kind of has to deal with like some of the perspectives of what some of these countrymen are going through and what they're seeing from their own eyes. It's sad, man. It's super sad.
It is. I don't know the war really ever is any kind of happy. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't do war is about as bad as it gets on Earth. And then
what is it good for?
Civilians get it the worst. That's the real problem. Mm-hmm. The real tragedy is that civilians get it the worst.
Yeah, and that's the civilian populace always gets hit harder in a time of war.
Yep.
Than the soldiers or anything. So
it turns into just abject tragedy after a while, and just it's like mass mass suffering. You know what I mean? Mass suffering.
Yeah.
So
it's gotten super interesting this week. But yeah, let's bring up the mood a little bit. But yeah, man, it's been a great week. It's been a great week. Lots of sports. Baseball's coming soon. Football is ending.
NASCAR starting back up soon. I mean,
there you go.
I'm looking forward to the Royals coming back because I really enjoy working at the K. Like, I haven't worked at Arrowhead as much this last year, just for reasons, but I still really, really, really enjoy working at the K. And yeah, when baseball gets back in the swing or there's more events, because when the weather starts warming up, there's more events there and stuff. It's like,
how long do you have until the new stadium comes up?
Both of those stadiums are leased out to 2031.
Woo!
So even if they wanted to build a new stadium, which, I know you're probably bringing it up because like Kansas City keeps talking about, nobody here, the vast majority of the locals do not want a new stadium and do not want a stadium downtown. They do not.
Understandable.
Like we've already got two side by side that are doing everything they need to be doing, extremely central in the metro. And when people say like it's not close to downtown, like the stadiums are basically like as the crow flies, about 5 miles in a straight line distance from downtown.
Look,
they're not far. They are not far.
Growing up in the New York City, New Jersey tri-state area, and going to Kansas City, it legitimately took us. It was so close that I didn't get car sick. That's how close it was. Okay, like, and that's saying a lot.
Right. It's like it doesn't. Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, I've been looking at KC as planning the fucking trip to come up there,
coming out here for a little bit. Yeah,
and I, been looking at hotels. My buddy, one of my other buddies outside of UJ, he's been like, well, look at this hotel versus this hotel. And I'm like, I'm coming. It's my birthday weekend, like that Saturday after we get there.
Fuck yeah, man.
So I'm like, if I'm going to fucking spend the money, my preferred hotel chain, all of them in the fucking KC area that are in the nice parts, it's the same price for the fucking amount of time I'm going to be there. So I'm like, usually stay in the fucking highest class of the highest class of that chains in the area.
Right.
When I sent you, Jay. But like, even in comparison from where that hotel is to Arrowhead, it's like a 5-10 minute fucking drive.
That is correct. You can get from downtown to the stadiums with no traffic.
Seriously.
Yeah. You can get from downtown to the stadiums in less than 10 minutes. In less than 10 minutes, because you'll take I-70 straight from downtown, and you get off at the freaking sports complex exit, and it took you less than 10 minutes to get there.
Yeah.
Hey. And my wife just said to me the other day, she was like, "Hey, if I need to send you over there when some of the guys are there," she was like, "I'll send you." I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna put that in the ledger."
You get car sick, or do you get air sick?
No.
All right.
Yeah, because I mean, that was the thing. Like, I started talking with the fiance about this trip, and she's like, "What do you want to do for your birthday this year?" I was like, I don't want to do the typical. We normally go to the fucking beach because it's Memorial Day weekend.
Everyone's
and I'm like, so I looked up flights and hotels, and I'm like, for what it's going to cost for the same amount of time for us to get a hotel on the beach, and we have to drive 3 hours to get to that hotel. We could fly to Kansas City and stay for the same amount of time for the same price. So,
and there is I hate like tooting Kansas City's horn all the time, because I know I do it, but it's hard for me not to. But this city is kind of in a renaissance right now. This is a really cool time for Kansas City.
I got to witness a little bit of it, man.
Yeah,
well, that's the thing. Like, I've been to Missouri. Obviously being an MP, spent time in fucking Leonard Wood. Flew into fucking St. Louis, I've been to St. Louis, I've been to fucking Leonard Wood. I've never been to KC, and KC's the bigger fucking, in my opinion, KC's St. Louis is a tourist attraction too. But
St. Louis had its heyday like 20 years ago.
St. Louis had its heyday when fucking Mark McGuire was playing for the fucking Cardinals.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. And then like now it's been
a good time.
20 years ago, a lot of the stuff in Kansas City, like I'm not just talking about the Missouri side. Like Kansas City, Kansas came back in a big way, because it used to just be a little spot on the map you fucking passed before you crossed over from Kansas going into Missouri. There didn't used to be anything there. Now it's got its own entire everything. You know what I mean? Like that's where they put the NASCAR track, and that whole complex is called Legends. So they put the Legends complex in there, and then there's other stuff like in Overland Park, and there's other stuff like the Kansas side has shit now. 20 years ago, a lot of this shit didn't exist. So now Kansas City's basically having its little renaissance, and there is something here for everyone. There's literally you will find some. Do you like museums? Do you like art? Do you like ballet? Do you like freaking performance arts? You know what I mean? Do you like concerts? Do you like freaking X, Y, Z? There is something going
food
on.
And fucking alcohol. That's what I like.
They got that in spades here. Okay, they got that, and that's what I'm saying.
They got barbecue sauce in a can.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Well, that's kind of
you got that.
That's kind of why I looked at like the hotel that I sent
I
you, Jay.
that.
That's why I picked that one, because right there is a lot of fucking pubs, bars, nightlife, things to do in the evening.
7 days a week, and the other cool thing is during what I would call like regular season. So kids are in school, people are at work. You know, this is not like Christmas or the holiday time. Kansas City kind of shuts down at like between 10 and 11 o'clock. So if you're downtown and you just want to like ride those fucking like little like rental scooters through Gotham, dude, wait till like 11:30 on like a Tuesday or a Wednesday, 11:30 at night, and you'll have like all of downtown Kansas City to like play with, because like the town like shut. So it's like it's a very bustling happening city right now. But people still freaking observe bedtime, which is really weird to see, but it's like also really cool if you stay awake, because then it turns into like a ghost town in the middle of the night. You know what I mean? And it's like it's really fucking cool. It really is. Like this, there's a lot to see and a lot to do here. I highly recommend Kansas City to be on anybody's vacation list, because this town is definitely in a fucking renaissance. Come enjoy it with us. Come on in. Water's warm. Come to the Paris Plains.
Not just, coming to KC. It's also going to be a whole different experience for my fiance, because she's never flown before. Like, she's never been in an airplane.
Okay. Right.
So, she to experience true travel now, because growing up, anytime her family would go out of state anywhere, even if it was, 14 to 20 hour drives to the location they were going to, they always drove.
We've done a lot of that too.
Mm-hmm. Now, so she's never had the opportunity to fly anywhere. So I'm like, fucking perfect.
Time to bust that cherry, dude.
We're gonna fly out of our little local airport on a little puddle jumper. So I'm giving her
fuck yeah, dude. Those are fun.
I'm giving her the full fucking experience.
Did you ever get to fly from fucking St. Louis to Fort Leonard Wood? Because like you fly like the people fly on one plane and your luggage flies on another plane behind it. Like that's how they do it. It's like, because it's a regional airport, and it's like there's a seat next to the pilot. Like, so like if the plane's full, it's like there's like eight people can be on there, or something like, or six or eight people. So it's like one of them sits next to the pilot. Like that's like I've had to do that. I've had to do that.
Mean, so I'm giving her the full fucking experience with this trip, because she's never flown before, and so the way the flight goes is it leaves out of our local little regional airport, goes to Charlotte, then from Charlotte to Kansas City.
Dude, I'm really looking forward to having you guys here and being able to entertain a little bit. You know what I mean? And just like you can see what my parents moved when I was 4 years old to Arizona from here. And for some reason, it stuck in my craw. And I always told myself I was going to return eventually to Kansas City, Missouri. Yeah. It took me 35 years, but eventually I did. Mm-hmm. But there is something to this place. There's something that makes it magic. It's not perfect. It has its big city problems, just like any other place in our country. But the people are amazing. The freaking food is amazing. Like I said, there's something here for everyone. There's stuff to do every fucking day and night of the week. There will be something. If you are just, it's 3:00 in the morning on a freaking on a Thursday, you can get in your car and freaking probably go find something to do. And that's because it is a big city. So there's something for everybody here. And it's like I said, it's going to be fun having you. And I'm really excited to entertain again, because Yeah, it's a new season. It's a new season.
Yeah, because
so,
I mean, like, I'm trying to figure out how to like work the itinerary because obviously I've got you, Jay. I've got my other buddy that lives up there. So
you guys find something. You guys
the way
find
I'm
something
looking
you
at
want
it
to do,
is
or you want to do with us. We can do like one thing with us and maybe a meal to go along with that at a certain place, whatever. And then you take your time, and if we don't see you again while you're here, that's okay too.
Well,
you know what I mean?
What I'm looking at is that Saturday, like for a majority of that Saturday, I'm going to get up with my other buddy that lives there.
Your birthday? Is that your birthday?
Yeah. And then for dinner that night, we all get together. You, your girls, him and his family, and the two of us.
I've got a place I can recommend already. Especially if we have like a big party.
And then John, Sunday, and then Sunday, obviously, we come out to your place. We do the fucking episode. The two of us sitting beside each other.
And that'll be a first for us because me and John have done that, and that'll be a first for you and me that you and me get to do that.
And then Squilini could put some sound stuff on your walls too.
Yeah. Oh, down in the basement. Yeah.
I'll have to get that sent to you before then, so that way we can sound treat that bitch a little bit.
I've been pacing the floors of my basement some nights, and I've got some ideas, and they're coming. And
you do the.
Oh, I have a blank canvas around me.
Yeah,
I'm surrounded by a blank canvas, so I told my daughters sometime this weekend, so it'll probably be tomorrow because we have a busy day today. But probably tomorrow, you guys are gonna laugh. We're gonna go like I'm gonna have them help me decorate like the kitchen and the dining room. Like I've already got an idea for the living room. Like the motif in the living room is probably going to be like, Western / Southwestern.
Yeah.
But, they live, my children live here too, and this is their house too. So the kitchen and the dining room, I'm going to have them help me kind of make it look like a freaking respectable household. That way, if you get a knock at like 8:00 at night, randomly, and somebody's like looking around the neighborhood for something bad, it's like you open your house and it's like, no, like, look, we're good. You know what I mean? Like this is a respectable house, right? Like, it's one of them. Like my parents were really good about like keeping a clean house, and it was like, it took me a long time. Like don't get it twisted. I'm not OCD or anything. Like it took me a long time to appreciate the value of like a clean house and when you have a clean house and you're hanging like funky like art and stuff on the walls, and they're not posters of like freaking like the Punisher. You know what I mean? Which I also have, right? Which I also have, obviously, right? So it's like you're not putting this. I'm not a teenager anymore, so the living areas need to be a little bit more neutral for potential guests.
And that's kind of like for us, like my office, I've got all my nerd shit, fucking Star Wars stuff on that side of the room. I've got a couple more professional looking shit because my work desk's over there, like that sign, Jay.
Still love that fucking poster, by the way.
Awesome. But like this is my room that I get like full fucking freedom with. My office is 100% my space. It can I get to do whatever the fuck I want, and then the rest of the house, I make sure me and the fiance, it looks like adults live here. We don't have it just be a fucking playground.
So I was separating stuff and like sorting through some of my stuff, and I'm like, okay, what's going on the walls? Where are they going? I do have stuff that is. I already have stuff that's going to be here in the living room, but it's okay. Does that make sense? A lot of stuff I was like, oop, you're gonna have to keep that in your bedroom. Oop, you're gonna have to keep that in your bedroom. Oop, that's gonna have to go up in the bedroom or the basement, possibly the basement.
Which I bet they're all like knives and stuff.
No, it's just stuff like so like I have a watercolor and I really like it, and it's called "She Only Loves Me When She's Drunk," but it's a nude, and you just see a woman from behind. Yeah. All it is a nude woman's backside, and she's holding in her hand a fucking bottle of Jack. Like on her hip.
Yeah, and that's something you put like down in the basement in the man cave type area. You're not putting that in the general vicinity where
that's not going in the fucking living room. Like
that's not going to go where the kids, if they have friends come over, their friends are going to see it and shit.
And
that's going to go down in a fucking private space.
Look, I'm sorry, guys, but speak for yourselves.
No, and that's okay, and that's okay because I grew up where I grew up in Tucson. There were families, and they were not afraid to have nudes hanging, like and I'm okay with that too. That's just my thing. For me personally, my thing. It's not about the nudes. It's about the fact that I'm a single dad and I have 2 daughters.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have sleepovers and friends over and birthdays and parties and a random Friday night pizza party where we watch movies before everybody goes home.
Yeah.
Like, all that bullshit. It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah.
Like they're encroaching on their teens, right? They're encroaching on their teens right now. So it's coming. I can't have parents or other kids.
Yeah, and
feeling like they're in a fucking like a nude art gallery. You know what I mean?
And I respect that, and that's why, like personally for me, I put that wall up, and I tell these parents, like when I meet them, like, look, I smoke weed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a untraditional parent.
I'm very open about that as well. I'm very open about that as well.
And I tell them, like, if you don't like any of that, don't bring your kid to my house.
Yep, that's like, that's. I mean, I'm extremely open about. It's actually one of the things we don't discuss very often here, or we haven't had the chance to. But I do self-medicate, and a lot of it is not for the intoxicating effects. So I am very open about my cannabis and my alcohol use.
Same here.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that specifically because and I've had to explain this to a couple different people. A lot of my self-medicating is not for the intoxicating effects. It is literally for pain management.
Yep.
The ability to fucking sleep for longer than like 2 hours at a time.
Same here.
And until that is something I can work on over time, but that is something I'm going to work on over time. It's nobody's business.
Yeah.
But I have no problem at letting people know, yes, I do. I 100% do. I 100% do, and it's 100% every day. But what you will probably not see is me fucked up. You know what I mean? Like that's basically like I keep myself like right here, basically like as long as possible.
Yep.
And that's basically how I can freaking maintain through my day and my days and nights without being on like 12 different medications. I'm sure the VA would love to give me.
Yeah.
You know and some of those like make your dick stop working, and like I like my dick. I like, you know what I mean? Like I have a really good relationship with that guy, and I'd like to keep it going for a while.
I mean, he's really close to an asshole, but he's a great guy.
He's a great guy. He's a great fucking guy.
And for a lot of people, and for a lot of people that know me, I do. I self-medicate a lot. But it's for the exact same fucking reasons. Yeah, I like my intoxicating factors like everybody else does. But
every once in a while at the end of the night, it's okay to
I'm in pain.
It's okay to get a little toasty at the end of the night.
Yeah.
When the kids are tucked in and everybody's home and nobody's fucking driving, that it's okay to get a little toasty. Yep. But if we're talking about like the day-to-day shit, it's like
this hurts.
Thank you. Yep.
That hurts.
Yep.
This hurts.
Every day.
Every
day.
Well, the ass only hurts because you like getting pegged, John. I mean,
that's true. That's true. You should see the footage that my wife has conjured up of me and her. I'm kidding. Anyways, or am I?
Tune in to Queen Sanchez Media on OnlyFans.
Listen,
hey man, whatever pays the bills.
Hey,
whatever pays the bills.
My wife, it's been spoken about. But let's get a little educational real quick, and then of course you're gonna get your DD214 juge, as I like to call it. But yeah, we're gonna talk about DD214 real quick because we were on 142 episodes and we have never talked about what the fucking DD214 is. So the official document for military discharge is known as a DD Form 214, commonly referred to as a DD214. Every veteran is issued this certificate of release or discharge from active duty upon leaving the military. In essence, the DD214 serves as concrete evidence of one's military service, and it is a standardized form used across all branches. Its significance cannot be overstated as it acts as the key to unlocking various benefits in the civilian world. Treating your DD214 with the utmost importance is crucial, considering its vital role in many aspects of post-military life. The acronym DD stands for Defense Department, and this form provides veterans with comprehensive and accurate summary of their active military service. It typically includes details such as dates of service, commendation, or medals received, the reason for separation, and the type of discharge. But there is like way more to it. And thank God that there's not too much.
It tells a story. Like the DD214 tells a story. And I didn't
Mhm.
realize, like, I remember, Joe, do you remember the day you got yours?
I remember the day I got mine very well. I never, until I got it though, I never realized how big of a storybook that form was.
Yeah.
Until I physically saw my DD214,
Yep.
I never knew how much that one form was going to tell about my 7 years in service.
Yep.
And when I got it and I looked at it and I looked at, you know, everything it fucking documents and says you've done, you've been awarded, all that jazz, I was like, holy fuck. This is literally everybody that's
Everything
in the
I did.
alumni, that's an alumni of the DD214. That's their fucking story. Like that explains who they were as a fucking soldier, airman, sailor, marine.
You went to this school, you went to that school, you freaking you got this medal, you got that badge.
You deployed here on these dates, you deployed here on these dates, you know, like every little fucking, like it's a Cliff Notes version more or less of everything.
It is the Cliff Notes, but it's all there. It's all there.
Like all it doesn't say everything you've done during those deployments or those schools, but it tells you went to, you know, you joined on this date and you went to basic at this place, you went to fucking AIT here, you went to this school, you went to that school, you did fucking this, you did that. Like everything is laid out on this fucking paper. And I looked at it and I was like, fuck, in 7 years, I accomplished a shit ton.
Hell yeah.
When I got mine. Like it never fully clicked in my brain in the 7 years I was active, how much I'd actually accomplished in 7 fucking years until I was looking at my DD214.
It doesn't seem real. It doesn't seem real.
So
like it really, it really does.
On paper, like for somebody that's only done 7 years, like myself, on that paper, it made it seem like I was in for fucking 20 years with the amount of shit I had accomplished.
Sure.
In 7 fucking years of my life.
Came in at a good time.
You had asked the question, Jay, like, do you remember your first day and the day that you got it? And I remember the moment that I got the DD214 in my hand, I read it and I looked at the guy who wrote the thing. I was like, wow, I had no idea I was such a badass and worked on cannons.
Wait, what? Was it wrong?
It was completely wrong.
Oh.
There was like 4 extra medals in there, a bunch of jobs I never did, but all my information was right. And I remember looking, I was like, you know, this is really nice.
His name, rank, and serial number were the only things correct on the fucking form. Everything else was fucked up.
How did that happen?
I have no idea. And I remember the guy looked at me and
I looked. It's the fucking DOD, Jay.
Yeah. And I remember he looked at me. He looked at me and I looked at him and he was like, well, what's wrong with it? I was like, well, I served as a cook the whole time. I never touched the cannon ever. Didn't deploy. I was like, this is wrong. This is wrong. I was like, this little bit is right. All of this big stuff is wrong.
Like it had him fucking stationed in fucking Baghdad for fucking a year or some shit.
There was deployments in there. There was like I was like, whoa.
They gave him the wrong Jonathan Sanchez's fucking information.
It's such a common name. But you know, some of the information that the DD214 is your like you said, your information, everything that you've done, places of entry, home address of time of at time of entry. That's another wild thing too. Mm-hmm. Mailing address after separation, last duty assignment, and rank obtained before getting out. MOS, which is your military occupational specialty. military education, decorations, medals, badges, citations, campaign awards, service length, any foreign service and separation information. I want to know what happened because the one who got his DD214 recently was Jay.
It was, yeah.
What was your what were you what happened when you got that good old piece of blanket?
So there was a little bit of a snafu when I got my DD214.
Shocking.
And it was not unlike yours, but a little bit different. So I was fully like the day I got my last awards, I was given my last awards, and it was this is at Fort Carson, and so like I was expected to be, I was in my dress blues basically, and I was getting my final awards from the army, and I was on. What I wanted to do was pick up my DD214 and then go to the awards ceremony, and then that way I could drive out of Fort Carson, done with the Army. You know what I mean? I go into this place to get my DD214. I'm in my fucking blues. And they're like, you didn't get this part signed off on this thing. And I'm like, yeah, well, officially I'm not out till October, and it's like July right now. I'm just getting ready to go on terminal leave. So like, I still have access to the building basically, like that I was working in. And I was like, I can do this anytime. And cause they needed me to like clear the company I was in basically, but I wasn't in a company. Yeah. I was a fucking instructor. Right. So it was like, it's a little different. And that the BLC at Fort Carson is ran by the Colorado National Guard. So I was my last unit technically was a Colorado National Guard unit on Fort Carson.
Oh shit!
Swear to God, can't make that. I cannot make this shit up. So like, yeah, you didn't clear them. Like, we can't give you your DD214. I'm standing there like in my fucking blues. Like, nowhere in this fucking building does it fucking say on any of these signs. Every single one of these signs all say the same thing. You need this, 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 and this. I have got all of them. And she was like, I'm sorry. And I was like, cool. Let me talk to your supervisor. And like, I told her supervisor to freaking change the signage in the fucking building. I was like, I'm here. I'm like, I'm going to have to come back again. I'm going to have to get in fucking uniform again and come back to get my DD214 because you guys don't have proper signage. Like, I've got everything, every sign in this room. Every sign in that room, I had everything that every sign freaking said you needed to have. They like pulled a fast one on me. So about a month later, when I freaking felt like it, I put my uniform back on and I drove back up to Fort Carson and I got my DD214. And that was, like Joe said, that was very interesting. That was very interesting. Because it like Joe said, like you start reading all of it. And then you're like, oh shit. Like, and a lot of it doesn't seem real. A lot of it, like that was when I first realized, like, fuck, dude, you've kind of been going hard for like fucking 12 years. Like, you've kind of been going hard, dude. Like, you're like, oh shit.
And I'll admit when I got mine, you know, the realization that I was officially out didn't hit until I was back in my fucking car. And then I sat there and I fucking cried like a little bitch.
I cried.
I didn't know what my next fucking steps were going to be. I didn't know where I was going to go from that point. Like,
I cried when I signed my deck statement. I knew it was over when I signed my deck statement. So that a little different, but I definitely had the cry in the car. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, like it was one of those surreal moments. Like, holy shit, I've done all this. I don't know what I'm doing next.
Now
like,
what?
Yeah, exactly. Now what? Where am I going to go from here? And, you know, luckily, due to my family, I had a very strong, you know, support system that going in, because I grew up in a military family, it was make sure after you get in, you know, you get some college education, you fucking set yourself up for a fucking career when you get out, because, you know, you don't want to. At first, I wanted to go in and be infantry. I wanted to go and do 11 bang bang and fucking be a Billy badass. But I had cousins, my uncles, my dad, everybody was like, that's all fine and dandy being front line. However, choose an MOS that you can actually take into real life with you. Like, unless you plan on going and being a fucking firearms instructor in real life, 11 Bravo is not really a
security, police. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's.
Well, you know, so I did MP and I planned on getting out, coming back to North Carolina, joining the fucking state highway patrol, being one of those dickheads. But due to injuries and shit, luckily I went to college and changed my entire career choice and went into fucking IT. But at the same time, like at that exact moment, even though I already had this college degree and career choices available once I got out, it was so surreal that I didn't know what was next. Because I wasn't like, I deployed 3 fucking times and was apparently mentally prepared to fucking go fight in a fucking war, but I was not mentally prepared to return to fucking civilian life.
Same.
And I've been out since 2013. So what, 10 years now? Yeah. Almost 11 years I've been out.
You're coming up on 11, yes.
And I'm still adjusting to fucking civilian life.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'm ever going to be fully adjusted to civilian life again. Like that's one thing I feel like
I don't think we stop being soldiers.
No.
And I don't think it's possible, really.
It's one of those things like my fiance, you know, she grew up a very sheltered life. She, you know, growing up, they had guns in the house, but her dad was one of those, don't look at the gun, don't touch the gun. If I see you even looking at it, you're going to get your ass beat kind of people. I mean, he's admitted recently, though, that he wishes he'd taken her and her sister to the range and taught them how to properly handle a firearm. Now I'm having to do that because we live in a very fucking scary world. The other day, she was driving home from fucking work and somebody fucking was tailgating her. And then they got to the side of her and fucking pointed a gun at her. While driving down the fucking interstate.
What the fuck is wrong with people, dude? The fuck is
exactly.
Wrong with people,
so, you know, it's like now
in North Carolina, like seriously, like in North Carolina.
Like now I have no choice. Like I don't feel safe with her fucking going to work anymore. So now I've got to get her. I've now got to get her a fucking gun. I've got to teach her how to fucking properly handle a gun. I've got to teach her how to shoot the gun. So that way I have that sense of security that if somebody is stupid enough to do that, she knows what to fucking do.
Yeah. Slam on your brakes and freaking pull over and call the cops.
Yeah. So some things that a DD214 is generally needed for deals and discounts.
Mm-hmm. Everybody likes. Yeah, but nobody carries their DD214 on them though.
No.
Although
that's what I have a fucking Department of Veteran Affairs ID card for.
Either that, I was going to say that, or in Missouri, where I live in Missouri, the driver's licenses they'll say veteran. They'll say veteran. It's not focusing, right?
Yeah, I see it.
Yep, there it is. Ish. Yep.
Yeah. The red lettering where it says veteran. In case anybody was wondering what that red lettering was. See, that's the thing. North Carolina doesn't fucking do that shit.
No shit.
It's interesting. Different states, man. You know, different strokes for different folks, dude.
Yeah. So, I can go to the DMV and go get a fucking DV license plate that says I'm a fucking disabled veteran, and then I don't need to have a handicap placard to park in a handicap spot.
That's what I need to do. I need to get my tags, like straight up.
I do too.
I'm that guy that like it. So a lot of the stores in my area have like parking for veterans. So they have marked off spaces for veterans. Lowe's, Walmart, fucking Target even has them everywhere in this area because we live in fucking the South. You know, veterans and military personnel are a big thing. It pisses my fiance off so bad when she sees somebody park in one of those spots, and she's now at that point where like she can look at somebody also
offended on your account. She gets like offended on your account. Like,
and I'm like, I don't fucking give a fuck. Like we could go park in BFE in the fucking parking lot. I will walk. Like that's not a problem.
She just loves you, Joe. She just loves you. She's just trying to stick up for you.
She's gotten to that point now where like she can look at couldn't tell if they were actually in or not. So she'll see like some 700-pound dude get out of his fucking car, and he's parked in a veteran spot because they're right next to the handicap spots, and he's got a handicap placard in his window, but he's parking in the veteran spot because all the handicap spots are fucking taken.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not
mad at that.
Like, that's not like I'm a disabled veteran. However, I'm not disabled to the point where me parking fucking 300 yards from the fucking entrance to the store is going to kill me.
Right. Exactly. That's guys. Give me 1 second. I got to get something here in a second. I will be right back. Okay. I will be right back.
Other uses for the DD214 is medical services. You go to the VA, and actually, it actually, even if you go to a regular hospital, I mean,
you get discounts.
Yeah, you get some help there. Homeless veteran services. I know that there is a big stigma that there are a lot of homeless veterans, but there is a lot of help for it too. But then it depends on where you are.
Being somebody that was a homeless veteran for a fucking year, and obviously my case was a little bit different. I was homeless because of unforeseen circumstances, not because of my own poor choices.
Oh,
what the fuck? What the hell? Stop touching buttons.
Well, I was trying to put, like, how do you put me back in the, yeah, okay.
There, is that better? Is that what you were trying to do?
Really what I was trying to do, but like,
you click on your picture and you drag it. You don't have to touch any buttons.
It's good to know.
But
we're talking about being homeless and vets, right?
Yeah, we started talking about, because we're still on the DD214 topic here, of course. But you know, being somebody that was a homeless vet, like I had a hard time fucking getting any help for that year that I was on the streets and in my area. Now, again, I actually was looking for fucking help to try to have something.
Get the fuck out of that bullshit. Yeah, absolutely.
Where, you know, there are some, and I see it even around fucking my area. There are some, you know, homeless vets that don't want the fucking help.
That is
different.
And that's also really ties into our fucking stubbornness as males, and not only males, but male fucking combat veterans, because we're like, if I can survive combat, I can make it through any situation that's thrown at me.
Yeah.
On my own.
I've witnessed that firsthand.
Granted, the only reason I survived combat was because I wasn't on my own.
I was going to say, like, that, like, how easy it is to forget that, like, the only reason we did so well is because of the people we were surrounded by.
Yeah,
exactly.
The next services you get is education. You can get education with your DD214. You go to school, read a fucking book, as Jay says. You could get a burial and the flag as well with your DD214. That is something that you do receive. So I saw this on the list. Social Security. DD214 is generally needed.
Yeah,
for you to sign up for Social Security, and especially if you are a DV, a disabled veteran, like the three of us here.
Yeah, so and part of the reason why that's required for Social Security once you get to that retirement age, even if you're not at that retirement age. So obviously, anybody that's dealt with the VA knows there's different levels of disability ratings within the VA. And there is a 100% rating that if you're at that rating, which is, you know, I don't know the exact terms because I'm not at that fucking rating, then you can also get fucking Social Security benefits on top of your disability, your VA disability. And that's where that comes into play. And then if you don't qualify for that at a younger age like ours, and you have to wait till retirement to get your Social Security, they require that because if you're dishonorably discharged, that's the equivalent in the civilian world. They consider that a felon.
Yeah.
A felony. And if you're a felon, you don't qualify for Social Security. So, you know, that's also why they require it, because, you know, once you hit retirement age, if you try to retire and you've got a dishonorable discharge, you don't get Social Security benefits.
Yeah, that's very good information. Thank you, Joe. That's because that is very important to know.
No problem. That's all coming from a cop.
Yeah. Veteran organization memberships. We've talked about this before. The American Legion.
Whether it's the American Legion, VFW, fucking. I mean, there's other ones out there. Those are just the two big ones.
Yeah, the vet center. The vet center is one that I think gets overlooked a lot. But the VA actually recommended me to go to the vet center to do some stuff and find some people and get some help, basically. You know what I mean? So
the last one on this list, and Jay, you just had some recent. You might have some recent input with this, some fresh input, but home loans.
Holy shit! And boy, did it work! And
those
I don't
VA
know how.
Fucking loans can fucking
Santa Claus brought my fucking happy ass a fucking VA home loan for fucking Christmas, and let me tell you, I went from literally like haven't even fucking like looked at places to fucking having keys in my hands in about 3 weeks, and I'm like that. I don't necessarily. I do not necessarily recommend doing it the Jay Campbell way. But holy shit! In a fucking pinch, that shit came through. That shit came through like that fucking eagle at the end of goddamn Lord of the Rings when they're fucking dying on fucking Mount Mordor after they threw the ring in and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that eagle swoops in and fucking grabs their asses.
Yeah, remember when them fucking eagles come in and you wonder why they weren't there the previous 3 movies, but whatever, it's kind of a plot hole, but they flew away. Yeah. That was like the VA home loan.
They could have easily fucking condensed that down into one movie if they just used the eagles for fucking travel.
Eagles. Fucking go fly to fucking Mount Mordor, you fucking idiots. Like, drop the fucking ring and give it to one of the fucking eagles. You know what I mean? Fuck, put it around somebody's neck and make them a sacrifice. Drop them with the ring into the freaking volcano. End of fucking story.
There you go.
Tactical fucking like.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, and one thing that's not on this list, you could get a VA business loan too. But to cap this part off,
I'm a prime example. Like I haven't done a VA home loan, but I've gotten the business loan.
Interesting.
No shit.
And how did that work out for you? How was that?
I mean, I just recently fucking did it, so I haven't announced to anybody. I haven't even talked to you two about it yet. So for my subsidiary, Tech Guy Media, I just did a business loan and LLC'd that.
Okay.
And part of why I did that is ultimately here soon, my studio space is going to change. So I got the business loan so that way I could rent an actual office space.
Interesting.
To transfer all my shit to.
So you can just have a house and the place you work.
Yeah, exactly.
I dig it. I fucking dig it.
I love it. And now, if you want to get your DD214, if you've received one before, we don't need you fucking stolen valor sluts out here, fucking. But
I usually just feel bad about those people. Like I'm like,
I do too. You know they've got some severe mental disorders or some shit.
You have to.
It's like, to do that.
To fetishize it enough. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, John.
No, you're good. There's a certain few that are piece of shits about it though, and we've it's that 1%. But
I mean, we have an entire fucking wall of shame for those people. So
we really do. To receive your DD214 as quickly as possible, visit the eVetRex website. That website is vetrex.archives.gov. And as you go through the drop-down menus, you select emergency request in the drop-down menu under which of these categories best describes why you're requesting records. You won't see this option until you begin going through the records request process to get to the service and the request detail section.
I had to do that recently.
Yeah, you may also fax a record request using Form SF-180 to the National Personnel Records Center, NPRC, at 314-801-9195. Make sure to specify the emergency in the purpose section of the Form SF-180 before faxing it.
I just gotta you said fax, right?
It said, yeah, facts.
People
Who
still
the
send
fuck
faxes.
faxes anymore?
I have no idea. But there
DOD.
is a number you could call, though.
The fucking DOD. I'm telling you right now. The fucking DOD does. No shit.
You
No
can
shit.
also call
So,
314-801-0800, but note that the hold times will be long.
No shit, you're calling into the fucking Department of Defense to get a fucking DD214. You're going to wait.
Yeah, you're gonna wait. So the best thing to do is to go on the EVET rec site and
The
do
best
the
thing to do is
emergency
to fucking install a fax line in your fucking house and send them a fucking fax.
Oh shit!
If
So that was
anybody
good.
needs any assistance with how to install a fax line and set that up, please contact me. I'm available via Discord, Facebook, Instagram.
I love it. I
Sorry,
love it. So
shameless
now,
plug, trying to buy some work.
no, do it. Do it. Get the shameless plug going. Here's another shameless plug. We got brand new merch on. Oh wait, do we have brand new merch? We have some.
Wait, when did you revamp our fucking merch? Like, why am I just finding out while we're live?
Wait a minute.
Oops.
Wait a minute.
Fuck that one up. Like,
Okay, so I started the work on the new sweaters, but they're not up yet.
And when do I get my first fucking free T-shirt for doing this shit?
oh no. I bought a T-shirt, Joe. You spend your fucking money.
I'm fucking with John, okay?
Yeah, we're not fucking. Yeah, we're not handing out freebies here.
I don't make these rules, all right? I don't make these rules. They just so happen to be there, and I'm just.
Do we have coffee mugs? Because I would totally drink fucking whiskey from a fucking DD214 coffee mug.
I could make a coffee mug. And remember, guys, we do this not for profit. We don't care about the money. There were actually a couple people who bought a couple stuff. And just so you know, we have not received any profit. Everything is as cheap as it can get. Okay. But yeah, I started working on some new designs, more like basic logo stuff. And
do we still have the shirts with the flag where it's all three of our states?
You know what? I'm gonna put that up. I'm gonna put that back up because I really like how that was.
Because that's the one design like I've been telling myself I'm gonna fucking buy and I haven't yet.
Yeah. So before we get into football, because I want that to be like kind of like the end all be all of the show, because I know you guys fill it up. There is something exciting happening next week.
Besides the AFC and NFC championships?
Yes.
Whoa.
NATO is going to start the biggest war games in decades next week, involving 90,000 personnel.
Fucking A. That's like 2 field armies.
Yeah.
That's like 2 field armies.
They're launching next week. It's the biggest military exercise in decades, and it's set to take part in months-long war games aimed at showing the alliance can defend all of its territory up to its border with Russia.
Fucking A.
If you guys have, we're all veterans. If you're a veteran, you've done war games before. You've done it in boot camp. You've done it in AIT. You've done it in the field. And war games, it's the closest
I just had a fucking
got.
24-hour fucking real life war game scenario airsoft match I was in the other week.
Fuck yeah.
Really?
Listen, I might be fucking overweight, but I still go out and fucking shoot shit.
Listen, you should see some of the guys that play. That you should see some of the bigger dudes that play fucking airsoft. It's a very inclusive community.
It's an amazing community, though.
It really is,
especially if you get with a nice milsim community.
Very smart guys.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, guys, what happened in football? What's going to happen in football?
Wait, John. Before we touch football, I want to talk AI for a second here.
All right.
Because I know how Jay is.
Here we go.
So, I was telling the both of y'all before we came on about my new glasses.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to share a picture here.
Okay.
These are those fucking glasses.
You look semi-respectable in that picture. You look kind of good.
I mean, of course, get to work. It was a day where I was working and I had a lot of fucking meetings with executives and shit. So I'd already, I was wearing a nice collared shirt before I went. Hair was fucking done. Fucking made sure my beard was combed. Made myself presentable. So I ended up getting the new Ray-Ban Meta fucking smart glasses. Now, anybody that's followed tech in the past, we've seen the fucking Google Glass. We've seen fucking all these other fucking smart glasses. Now we're getting to smart glasses that are more practical, where you've got a voice assistant and you can take a fucking photo from your glasses. That's it. And in my opinion, it's practical. Now, I'm really interested to see how things go, because one thing I've learned since I purchased these, I haven't got them yet. I'm still waiting because my eyesight's shit. I should be wearing glasses right now, but my current glasses are so old that my vision's more blurry wearing my current glasses than not wearing my glasses.
Because your eyes do that. Your eyes get worn out from the glasses. It's a real thing.
And I'm really interested to see, once I get these, how much I implement them into my life. Obviously, everybody that watches the show, we talk tech. Everybody knows I build computers. I work in the tech industry. I work with software and hardware. I dive into fucking everything. I still think robot overlords are going to take John's brain one day.
They're not going to take it. I'm going to give it to them.
Soylent Green.
Okay.
Soylent Green was always humans. It was always humans. Soylent Green was always humans.
But I'm really interested to see like how these play into my day-to-day life, because like with these new glasses, with the AI that's built in, obviously it's Meta, which is the new name for fucking Facebook, or the company that owns Facebook, that worked with Ray-Ban to make this collaboration. I more got it because fuck, if I need to take a quick picture, it's going to be a lot faster to fucking snap a fucking picture from my eyeglasses than it is pulling my phone out my pocket to fucking take a picture. But the more I've researched them since I've used my vision insurance to pay for them, to begin with, I had to pay zero.
I like that part. I like that part. That sounds like free 99.
Exactly.
I like that part.
Fucking smart glasses for nothing out of my own pocket, because I have fucking vision insurance that paid for that. But I'm really interested to see how like Meta's voice assistant and AI works, because one of the things they have coming out that's in the beta stages right now, I've already signed up for the early access program, so once I get it, I can start testing it, is I can look at something and say, hey, Meta, provide further detail on what I'm looking at. Whether it's a building, a fucking book,
would you see that?
Would
you see that? Would you see that in your?
So it doesn't have screens.
Okay.
So it's just a voice assistant like
audio.
Siri or Google.
Audio.
So it'll audibly tell me, hey, this is what you're looking at. This is what we're dealing with.
You should fucking test that shit out when you come to Kansas City. There's a lot of historical buildings downtown, especially if you're going to stay like.
Well, and that's the thing. That's kind of part of it, is there's going to be a lot of footage coming out, and I'll share it with you, John, obviously, because I'm going to want to put.
I love AI. I mean, there's something so beautiful about it.
I'm going to be putting it together and doing montages and clips and shit that will be shared here, that'll be on my YouTube and stuff like that, because as I test them, I'm going to fucking test them to the fullest extent. So at work, we use Microsoft Copilot, which is their version of like ChatGPT, which is an AI system. But Microsoft's made their own system that really on the back end, it's using ChatGPT. So anytime I have to send a fucking email, I just type into this fucking Microsoft Copilot, here's the topics I want to talk about, here's the type of people I'm sending it to, and then it'll fucking type the email for me.
I like it. There's so many.
It makes life easier, because now I don't have to fucking think for 35 minutes how I'm going to type out this lengthy email to fucking the corporate executives on how the service desk is doing at my job. I can just say, here's the stats I need involved in the email. Here's who this is going to. Type it out for me.
So there's a lot of positive abuses, I'll call it, for AI, and I'm going to give a really perfect example of this right now. So if you guys have noticed within probably the last year, I use ChatGPT to help me write out my descriptions better for the podcast descriptions and things like that. So what some people are probably thinking when I'm saying this is that I'm going onto ChatGPT and saying, write me a description for this episode. But what I'm actually doing is writing out in my own words
you're putting in your own words what's being talked about, and then ChatGPT is refining it and making it more understandable.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
correct. Like
exactly.
It's the same reason why I use it when I have to send these emails to fucking the like C-level people at my job. I'm using this system to say, here's everything that I've got. Make it more professional for me.
Yeah. No, so it does have its, and I bet, the negative abuses of it, I could be a college student and write a whole fucking essay on there and then have it do that. I don't agree with that, because then, I mean, there is a line to it. You know what I mean? But if you need help with your grammar, if you need help with, with your spelling, maybe
Well,
it might behoove you to kind of use a GPT.
And the thing is, so I work in IT full time in the medical field, in the healthcare field. With that, obviously we've got regulations like HIPAA, shit like that. So my company, we've actually got a compliance policy. We're not allowed to use ChatGPT at all because it's not HIPAA compliant.
Yeah, that's
however,
correct.
Microsoft's integration that we are allowed to use has gone through like HIPAA compliance, fucking testing, all this other shit that makes it to where we're allowed to use it. Now, I don't agree with, shit. I grew up in the age of when I went through fucking college, I had to write my own fucking essays. I had to write my own papers. I didn't have any fucking fancy tools to fucking help me. And I'm sorry, if you're using ChatGPT to make sure you get a fucking A in your college course, you should fucking fail your college course.
Yeah. 100% agreed. I actually 100% agree with that.
They should fucking fire any professors that fucking fall for that shit too.
Yeah. So, but I guess enough on AI. Let's dive into a J topic. Well, a Jay and Joe topic here.
Oh, you mean
we're gonna jump into cue the fuck. That's so fucking low, bro.
All right.
Fucking football right there.
There we go. We're gonna dive into the fucking playoffs.
Here we go.
So we're in the official divisional rounds right now.
Mm-hmm.
We've made it from fucking
games.
We saw Super Wild Card fucking weekend last weekend.
Yep.
We've seen the first two games of divisional rounds this weekend. We're going into the next two games in a couple hours here this weekend for the last two games of divisional round. And then next weekend, we're going into the fucking championships. So first, we're going to talk about last weekend, Jay, because neither of our fucking guesses really fucking played out. There's one thing I do want to talk about, especially because of the jersey you're fucking wearing right now.
What's that?
Fucking Mahomes' helmet.
Oh, when it cracked and it fucking
that
broke?
Motherfucker broke like fucking no goddamn tomorrow. By the way, last weekend.
By the way, this is not a Mahomes jersey. Just so you know, this Mahomes is 15.
I know.
I wear 13, but dude, with that
I'm just because you're wearing a Kansas City, you're wearing a Chiefs jersey. That's why I'm going straight to the fucking helmet moment.
And I'm not
because
I'm
that
not wearing,
motherfucker
I'm not
broke.
I also want to let everybody know I'm not wearing 13 for Taylor Swift either. Okay, I've had this fucking 13 jersey since for 10 years. Okay,
I was going to say because that is a Kelsey jersey, isn't it?
No, Kelsey's 87.
13.
Nope. No,
who the fuck was 13?
Nobody like. There's been a few, but like nobody like super whatever like on the Chiefs. Like since our recent successes, at least, like that's neither here nor there. Dude, it was cold. It was fucking.
You know it's fucking cold when that
cold.
fucking helmet snapped like it was a fucking twig.
Dude, it was balls fucking cold that night. I mean, balls cold.
So
like it was bad. Like as soon like it last week in Kansas City was just dog shit cold. Like we've been in the negatives. Yeah. We've been in the negatives at night most of the week. Most of the week.
So,
you know what I mean?
I've done a little bit of digging since that happened on the different helmets, the different players wearing shit. So the helmet Mahomes chooses to wear, the Vicus, is the company that makes it. That helmet's designed for who the fuck? John, stop fucking clicking buttons.
I'm trying to put myself.
We had the 12 buttons of Christmas episode like 7 weeks ago. You don't have to click all 12 of them right now.
I'm just trying to put myself on the damn corner.
Nobody puts John in the corner. Nobody puts John. Even John doesn't put John in the corner.
But I gotta pee though.
Oh shit. But so like that helmet, it's made to take impacts. Right. However, because of how fucking cold it was,
and it was that cold,
the flexibility of the fucking material wasn't there anymore.
It just
fucking shattered.
Yeah.
Now, I will give it to Mahomes for fucking making it through 2 plays before the fucking refs made him swap out fucking helmets.
Smart. That dude, that kid is just that's how you know he's a little bit of a step above. His like football IQ, his like in-game IQ. He is a human being like everybody else, but he has got that tenacity.
Now, the other side of me though, I want to know why fucking staff didn't think to keep the backup helmet like right next to a fucking heater.
I don't think they expected anything like it. I think it was just a very unexpected thing. It's not something that happens very often.
Because
but you're right. They did not have a backup immediately available to him. But see, here's the thing though. He calls his own plays quite a bit. And it's pretty obvious that he does.
It's extremely obvious.
So
like Andy Reid trusts him so much.
He doesn't necessarily
making the right play.
Yeah, if he's fucking watching the defense and he calls a fucking audible or a shift, fucking like Andy Reid Andy Reid gives him like all kinds of the leeway. So he doesn't necessarily need, the fancy schmancy secondary, but you can bet fucking money today in Buffalo, they're going to have like a secondary.
They're going to have a backup for the fucking backup for the backup. Yeah.
They're going to have like at least 3 of them bitches, dude. You can almost guarantee it. You can almost guarantee because it's fucking cold in Buffalo today. You know what I mean? Like they had to shovel snow out of the stadium again. So
I mean, that was very interesting when I saw the fucking helmet snap last weekend. I was like, holy fuck, it's cold. Because you never it wasn't like it cracked like a properly heated like a normal helmet. It shattered.
It looked like a gunshot.
Yeah.
It shattered like fucking glass.
Yes.
And
that is how cold.
That just proves how fucking cold it was out there on the fucking field at Arrowhead last week when they fucking played.
It has been disgustingly cold here the entire last week. Like my car is not pulled up next to my garage right now. It's sitting lower towards the bottom of the driveway because I didn't make it all the way up last night. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
so cold.
It is the fucking shit like barely thaws in the day, if at all, and then it fucking just refreezes at night. So like, but it's been a week like that. So it's like
obviously, there's that game. Texans won last weekend.
Yep. Texas, that was brutal. That was like so like I thought the Browns were going to put up a much bigger fight than they did.
Yeah.
I really did. I thought that was going to be the best game of the weekend possibly. And the Texans turned it into a fucking rout. And I was like, ooh,
now,
shit.
Outside of the Texans, let's dive into that fucking Green Bay Dallas game for a fucking minute. First off, everybody that's watched,
I'm very sorry. I'm very
Everybody
sorry.
that's watched since the beginning of this football season and even last football season, because this is now my second football season on the show, knows I'm a fucking Dallas fan. Now, again, I'm a Dallas fan that understands we fuck up when it's fucking important.
You sound like me before fucking we had Mahomes. So like
I'm not a Dallas fan that sits there
empathize.
like you see these videos of Dallas fans that are fucking like punching their TVs and shit.
That's fucking stupid.
That's fucking retarded. Like I'm
That's
sitting on the couch
stupid.
drinking beer, yelling at the TV. I'm never fucking, gonna fucking do some stupid shit.
Right.
However, I went into the game with high hopes because we're facing the number 7 fucking seed in the division. Like, I was like, okay, we're going to fucking take Green Bay. We're going to go into the fucking divisional round. We're going to lose to the 49ers like fucking always. And we're going to call it a day there.
And
then somehow our fucking team didn't show up. And the fucking Green Bay Packers beat us.
What wasn't the score like in the 40? It was like 40-16 or something at some point. Like what was it?
It was 40-16 when I turned it off, and then when I refreshed and I checked it again because I was like, okay, it was Sunday. I was like, I've got work tomorrow. It was 40-16 at half. I said, fuck this. I'm gonna get ready for bed. I go up, fucking finish folding some clothes that needed to be folded, hanging up some shit in the closet, got in the bed, and we were towards the end of the third and it was 40-something to 33. So I was like, okay, now I got to put the game back on because we do have a chance of coming back on this.
It was too late. It was so too late.
But it was too fucking late.
It was so too late. Well, because it was like, I want to say it was more than 40. It was like Dallas had like 16. I remember that part, but it was like 48-16, and it was like even if you gave Dallas, even if you gave Dallas the ball back, if you gave them the ball back every time and just let them score, you would still burn enough clock that like they would never catch up. Like it was
49-33 at one point.
What was it?
Because 49-33. Because what was
what was it before that? Like when Dallas was like what was the max? What was
at
the max
halftime?
Like?
Hold on.
There was like a point differential where it was like maxed out.
Green Bay.
If you look up like the how they scored.
Yeah, I'm looking at the halftime score real quick.
What was it at halftime?
It was 24-20. No, that was the fucking game last night. Hold on.
Your Google foo sucks.
I've got it pulled up here. It was giving me the wrong fucking thing. So it was 48-32 when the game ended.
Yes. But a lot of those were garbage. It was garbage time points. A lot of it was garbage time points.
Yeah. I'm trying to see summary scores.
I think it might have been 48-16. It might have been like, and like Green Bay just kind of stopped scoring.
Because it was 27-0, and then Cowboys got one score right before half.
27-0. Yeah.
Yep. Because Dallas got a touchdown right as the clock hit 0 going into halftime. So, coming out of halftime, it was 27-0, or 27-7. So they were up 20 points at that point anyways.
Right. And that's three scores, 3 full scores. That's 3 full scores.
So, I mean, and that's the thing. Like I had that glisten of hope because when it was 48-32 and there was enough time on the clock for Dallas to have 2 possessions. And if Dallas had gotten 2 touchdowns and two point attempts, we would have tied the game up, throwing it into overtime. We'd have lost in overtime with the way fucking Dallas was playing. I mean, CD Lamb didn't show up for the first fucking half, and he's our big fucking receiver. Right. There were just so many fucking problems on that field. And it was just typical fucking playoff Dallas over the last couple of years, where we get to the fucking playoffs miraculously and then we choke like a motherfucker.
Well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the other choke, because Dallas fans were not alone last weekend with a fucking big choke, and that was the fucking Philadelphia Eagles. And I think the Eagles were more expected.
Eagles, I expected to fucking.
They were expected to do it, but like they how are you like how do you go onto a game where you're expected to like choke, and then like you don't just choke, you freaking like you do it spectacularly. You know what I mean?
You don't even like the Eagles didn't even fucking show up, bro. Like
that's what I'm saying. I don't like how and how,
you know.
Like,
one of my favorite fucking clips I've seen this entire past week from that Eagles game is at halftime, a fan that was sitting right beside the fucking tunnel ended up getting escorted out by security because he threw his entire fucking popcorn bucket at Serrani, at the fucking head coach for the fucking Eagles, while screaming, "You're fucking done. You're fucking done. You don't need to fucking coach this team anymore." And then throws his entire fucking popcorn bucket.
Gets escorted out, like, yeah.
And then gets escorted out by fucking security. Like, you paid to go to a fucking playoff game only to make it to halftime because you want to be fucking drunk and stupid and throw your popcorn at the fucking.
That's the shit. Like, when I do security at Arrowhead, like, that's the shit. Like, if it happens here, like, I would have to deal with that.
Yeah.
Like, that's that exact shit. And it's like, God damn it. Like, how much money did you spend today, dude? And like just to get fucking like arrested, like, so, for no fucking reason. Like, come on. Like, you're better than this, children. You're better than this.
So I will admit, going through the remainder of the playoffs, especially today, I'm pulling for the fucking Lions on the NFC side.
The Lions definitely have my heart. The Lions have my fucking heart. Like, I want nothing but the best for the Detroit Lions this year.
So,
like,
the little bit of a heartwarming story. So there's a season pass holder for the fucking Lions. He's had season tickets for what? Like 60 fucking years or some shit like that.
And he was at their last championship in like 59. Yeah. Like holy shit. Like, you talk about,
and then, talk about fucking full circle. Like, he's at the fucking playoff game last weekend and sees the fucking Lions after 30 years of fucking not coming to the playoffs, win their first fucking playoff game in Super Wild Card Weekend
in Detroit. In Detroit.
I guarantee you they will end up showing him again today because they're playing in fucking Detroit again today.
Did you see the dude that like he was like crying at the end and shit, and they showed him? They freaking found him, and like that dude had like the most touching fucking story for like why he was like crying at the end. Like, when his team when he knew the team was gonna win, like, freaking like that's fucking football. Like,
yeah,
that's how, like, before we had Mahomes, man, like, it's so easy to forget because of how much success the Chiefs have had the last several years. Before we had Mahomes, dude, like, we weren't as bad as Detroit, we weren't as bad as Cleveland, but our woes were fucking long and listy. Like, before Mahomes came, our playoff record was 9-18, like, or some shit like that. And like, since Mahomes has come on, it's like we're at 500 now. Like, as of beating the Dolphins last week, we're at like 500. Yep. And it's like, dude, like, that's only happened because we found success with Mahomes. But before that, it was bad. And like, when I see people that have been waiting like decades just to fucking like root for the team they never gave up on.
Yeah.
People have come, people have gone, people that we love in our lives, you know what I mean, are like no longer here. And you're thinking of them because you're just like, fuck, they were like bigger fans than me. You know what I mean? Shit like that. And it's like, that shit fucking like totally pulling for the fucking Lions today. By the way, who are your picks today? Because like, I got the Lions and I have the fucking Chiefs in an upset at Buffalo. So who are you picking today? Who are you picking
I've
today?
got the Lions. I've got the Lions over the Bucks.
Okay.
And then
Taking the Bills? Are you taking the Bills?
I'm taking the Bills. I'm
Okay.
taking the Bills.
All good.
I've got. I just because I'm usually once my team's out of the playoffs, I pull
Start
for the
looking at
fucking
stuff
underdogs
a
at
little
that
differently.
point. I pull for the underdogs, and right now at this point, we've got the Lions and the Bills are the underdogs.
I don't think the Bills are really considered underdogs today.
I'm considering them underdogs based off of championship and playoff matches that they've had over the last my lifetime.
And that's one of the we're catching glimpses of fucking playoff Mahomes again, like last week last week here in Kansas City, the Dolphins came and we played a solid. That was one of the most solid games we've played all season. We've been talking on this podcast the entire football season about how fucking sloppy the Chiefs have been this year.
Oh yeah, no, I will admit
last week was like that was a game.
Playoffs Mahomes. Like I will agree with you on that, Jay.
Such a solid game all around. There were still some mistakes, but not nearly as many as fucking they forced on Miami. And that's why I'm still taking. This is going to be first game for Patrick Mahomes on the road in the playoffs. So that part is going to that's going to be an interesting part of the storyline. Yeah. I don't think it's going to matter today. Now, if we go to Baltimore, if we have to go to Baltimore next week, we might have to fucking talk about that one. But I don't see Mahomes slipping today. I don't see him slipping today.
That's where I have a really big next week's going to be really a huge talking point, because if we have Chiefs versus Ravens and Lions versus Niners in the conference championship games, those games could go fucking either way with the way the Lions have fucking played this season. Every team in the
playoffs right now is beatable. Every fucking single one of them. And there's not too many years where you're like, yeah, like they could be beat. It's like, no, this year, every team has some very explicit weaknesses. And we saw it yesterday in Baltimore, man, I'll tell you what, them Texans fucking held their own in that first half. And
if it wasn't for fucking Lamar Jackson, if it wasn't for fucking Baltimore's QB getting those 3 fucking TDs in that second half, like, I mean,
and then the 49ers.
But Baltimore looked beatable. And the 49ers, they were real close to fucking losing to the fucking Green Bay Packers.
They almost fucking lost.
We almost went into next weekend with it potentially being Lions or Bucks versus the fucking Packers in the fucking championship game.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
So, I mean, and that's the big thing. We're at playoff football right now. We're not at regular season where we can 100% look at stats and say this team's going to beat this team. This is playoff fucking football where anything can fucking happen.
Yep.
Like that.
Yep. And you're out. If you lose, you're out. Like that's it. Like this is every game is the last game if you lose. Every single game is the last game if you lose. So
and that's where I'm really interested to see, because everybody's talking about this whole logo fucking bullshit where the colors of the logo are going to be the teams that play in the Super Bowl. No.
Yeah.
I've gone back and since that came up this year, because that's a this year thing, I've gone back and looked at every logo for the past like 10 years, because people were claiming it was the same over the last, several fucking years.
Right.
And I'm like, no, the logo colors didn't match half the fucking teams that went.
Correct.
So it's one of those things like, yeah, could it end up being the Ravens and the Niners? It could be. But it could also be the fucking Chiefs and the Niners, or the Ravens and the Lions, or the Lions and the Chiefs. Like there's 4, or even the Bills and the fucking this, and
it could be
there's
the Bills,
so many different fucking outcomes.
Tampa Bay. It could be Tampa Bay again against the fucking the Ravens, the Chiefs, the fucking Bills. You know what I mean? Like it could be. It could be any one of them. Like That's
There's
playoff.
a total of
It's
6
playoff.
different fucking outcomes for the Super Bowl right now until the end of today's games. Then after today, it could be 4 potentials, whether it's the Chiefs going against the Ravens or the Bills going against the Ravens next week, or the Lions and the Niners, or the Bucks and the Niners. There's so many different potential outcomes going into this fucking into the championship games. We don't know. It's one and done. You make one bad mistake during any fucking playoff game, your team can be knocked, and then you're out of the fucking call.
Season's over. Season's over. Better luck next year. Thanks for coming out. Better luck.
The only way you have anything else happening this season is if you got picked for the fucking Pro Bowl fucking bullshit next week, the weekend between the fucking championship games and the fucking playoff and the Super Bowl. That's the only way you're going to be touching a fucking field again. And there's players on both teams that weren't selected to go into the fucking Pro Bowl fucking weekend.
Right. That's right. So for a lot of them, it's over. That's the season. Thanks for coming out.
But I mean, this is fucking championship football. I'm pulling fucking Lions. If they make it past this weekend, I will go fucking buy a Lions jersey.
Really?
Just to fucking say I have one.
There you go.
They will be my other fucking team going forward. I will have fucking Cowboys first, Lions when the Cowboys are being complete fucking knuckleheads.
I have such a soft spot in my heart for Detroit fans and Cleveland fans because of just the sheer amount and the longevity of the suffering.
Yeah.
Of the suffering.
Now, the other interesting side of this is if it's the Chiefs versus the Lions, my other buddy that lives in KC.
Yeah.
He's a Lions fan. But he's a Chiefs fan because that's the home team.
Right.
Now, I've already asked him the fucking question. If it comes down to Lions versus Chiefs at the Super Bowl, who's he going to fucking pull for? He's pulling for his fucking Lions because that's been his team his entire fucking life.
Well, he has to.
Yeah.
And the Lions in that matchup, the Lions would totally be like America's sweetheart, because everybody's already sick of the fucking Chiefs. Everybody's already sick of the fucking Chiefs, and we're still until this coming Super Bowl, we are still the reigning Super Bowl champions until we fucking lose. So
if y'all get knocked out this week in the playoffs, then boom, you've lost that reigning Super Bowl champion fucking title.
Correct.
Because the second you're out of the playoffs, even you lose that fucking title because now, obviously you're not going to be battling to keep the title in the Super Bowl.
Correct.
So
that's right. And that's one of those things but just like last year, man, last year, we weren't supposed to really do that much. And then we fucked around in the playoffs and we won the Super Bowl.
But
so we'll see how it goes today. It's going to be cold in Buffalo, but I got my Chiefs, dude.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I think that covers fucking football.
Yeah.
And that's shit. I actually kind of like this little square down here. I'm not gonna lie, the little producer square. So I'm gonna stay down here.
He looks like our little puppet that we're pulling the strings on. I'm just waiting on him to flick off the camera because we said that.
But yep, we're here at the end. Which one you guys
Dan's
want to take the
boy,
final thought?
Joe, you got it this week?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely got a couple things to say on that.
Please do.
So we've made it through the holidays. Everybody that watches us, we're glad you made it through with us. Holidays always hard time. Now we're back to the regular hustle and bustle of day-to-day life. And there's still things that can pop up. Especially for those of us that have served. We've got, buddies that are suffering day to day with PTSD and other mental disorders due to their time in service. I think the quote I saw a quote last night that really rings with me, and it's, I'm not struggling with depression. Depression is struggling with me. And that's because even though we might, there might be people out there that suffer from depression, you're still here with us, which means depression's having a hard time taking over your life. And I just want people to remember that key thing. If you're still here and you have depression, you're not struggling with it. It's struggling with you. You're fighting it. You're doing everything you can in your power to not let it take over your life. And we need you to keep it that way. We need, even the three of us, we need to keep it that way, because we want to be here in 168 to continue the shenanigans and the craziness that we provide weekly. We also, we have our families that depend on us. I'm sure everybody else out there that has families, your families depend on you. They love you. They care about you. We want to make sure that if you're struggling, if you feel like it's that time where you want to, where you're going to do something, you're texting or calling 988, dialing 1-800-273-8255, or even if you're not reaching out via the National Suicide Hotline, you're reaching out to a battle buddy, a friend, somebody that you can just confide in, vent to, bitch to about the day-to-day struggles you're going through. Even if you're not comfortable reaching out to somebody, there's the three of us, me, Jay, John. Our direct messages are always open via Discord, any platform. You can find us. I guarantee it. We're here to listen. We might not be licensed crisis intervention counselors or anything of that nature. However, we've been through crisis ourselves, and we will listen. We can't provide you legal advice or proper counseling, but we can at least give you that shoulder, that ear to lean into and say, this is what the fuck's going on. I don't know how I'm going to handle this. And we'll listen. There's people out there that will listen. If you're not going through something, we employ you. I beg you personally to reach out to an old friend, to a battle buddy from when you were in, to a family member even that you haven't talked to in a while, because you don't know what they're fucking going through. And that phone call, that text message to check in might just be what saves a life. The statistics are there. There's statistics. There's too many people that take their own lives a day, whether it's veterans, non-veterans. It's a sad fucking nature of the beast when it comes to our society in America. And just try to reach out to a friend if you're feeling down, or reach out to a friend to make sure they're okay if you haven't heard from them in a while, because they might be going through something, and that text, that phone call, whatever it may be, might be that one thing that says somebody still does fucking care. So I'm not going to do this today. And, on that note, we want to see everybody back here in 168 for formation. More football talk next weekend, on top of other fucking topics, because, we bounce all over the fucking place. We're working diligently on the back end to provide the best fuckery and shenanigans that we can.
Absolutely.
So we hope to fucking see everybody next week. Until then, stay safe, stay strong, reach out to your people.
Go Chiefs.
Go Chiefs.